My name is Alex Bryant, and I'm a member of the Nixa Board of Education with your February board meeting recap. Artwork from High Point Elementary and the Early Childhood Program was highlighted by slideshow prior to the meeting starting. To start the meeting, High Point presented on their teachers' efforts to make learning enjoyable and engaging for the students. Before the school day started, teachers participated in a cooperative learning exercise. They then continued the activity with their students that same day during math lessons and other activities. The learning exercises promoted better interaction and understanding. You can see the video on your social media channels. Brenda Rance talked about a recent meeting that was held where local entities who are funded by property tax were able to meet with state elected officials and discussed how various bills would impact funding. The entities were able to have discussion on their funding and the impact of legislation on that funding. The enrollment report showed that the district has 6,728 students, which is around 15 students over this time last year. During the superintendent's comments, various groups, events, and topics were highlighted. Dr. Jared Webster presented on the district's mobility rate. The district's mobility rate is 17.7%. The higher the mobility rate for a student, the more services a student requires to make sure they're on grade level or caught up with other students. The district has been trending upward in the last few years, so we're watching how this impacts our students and staff and how we can make sure students find success in our schools. Dr. Kevin Kopp, Go Bears, and Brenda Rance gave an update on the district's demographic study and some recent questions the district asked to help us plan for the future. The study showed how the community is changing and growing. One interesting point was that over the age of 60 are growing at an even increasing rate, and the number of people moving in with families is growing at a slower rate. Dr. Allison Fleetwood and some of the thespian students talked about their recent production as well as the recent thespian conference where they were able to compete against and network with other students across the state. Nixa students won several awards at the conference. During the consent agenda, we paid the bills, approved employment recommendations, approved grant applications, and approved contracts, along with other items of business for the district. During previous business, the board reviewed and approved our legislative priorities for 2024. These include teacher recruitment and retention, school safety, behavioral and mental health services, school accountability, and local control. You can see more details on the board docs site, which can be found at www.nixapublicschools.net/schoolboard. Under new business, we began the process of reviewing board policies as well as handbooks. The board is going to take a focused effort to review all board policies over the coming months and put them on a regular rotation for review so we can make sure they're always looked at regularly and updated as needed or kept currently as written. Abigail Folnecki, the student representative to the board, updated the board on various student events and efforts at the high school. She updated the board on the winter homecoming and the months of planning it takes to put that event together. She also addressed the PRO initiative, where students are recognized for good work and positive behaviors, which ties into the district's Portrait of an Eagle plan. The high school has also opened the Birdhouse, which is a class, but it is also a place where students can purchase beverages and food. Students in the class learn customer service and business aspects of running a business. Sarah Mancusi, the Nixa Teacher Association president, thanked the board for their support for the building substitutes, which allows teachers to have training during the school day. During the president's report, Josh Roberts talked about how the board will be reviewing and making updates to all of our policies so that all of our policies will be reviewed at least every 5 years. He also talked about the chat with the board on February 28th. Linda Dowdery talked about the legislative session and bills in the state legislature and how they could impact Nixa. The board will be going to advocate for Nixa at various events in the coming weeks and months. To close out the meeting, the board reviewed the district's gifted program and adjourned. To keep up to date on all the school board information as well as upcoming meetings, go to www.nixapublicschools.net/schoolboard.